Thank you, Ann.
You had to collate it all. didn't
Yeah, I
you?
did. Didn't
So
know I even knew how to do that.
Debbie sent these out to us maybe, they're dated at the beginning of May, so the beginning of May, to coincide with the memo that she sent out on the budget.
Yep.
And basically what we need to do is what our department heads do is put in under preliminary budget what we propose for each line item. Again, per that memo, we don't do the salaries because those will be figured out after the county compensation board meets. So in the past, Nick, what we've done is we've just started off and gone down the page from top to bottom. So we have a bunch of different funds, but you guys want to start with revenues or expenses? Any preference?
Well, I'll probably just start on the top page. Where it's
Alright.
usually revenue.
Mine are totally out of
Mine's
order.
expenditure.
All right, so we got a whole, okay, these are all, hold on, I think these are all revenue. I have nothing but revenue.
Mine, so far.
So you have nothing but
Expenditure.
expenditure.
Oh, here, I got revenue.
You should each have 3 pages of expenditures. And on the right, on the top, it'll say pages 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. All the others, well, most of the others are revenue, and they're 1 of 25 in that top right. And then you have another revenue that's 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. You see those 3 different?
Pages 1 of 3 are expenditure.
You have one that's expenditures and one that's revenues.
Here's revenue. That's all I have. I have revenue and revenue. 25 pages of revenue here.
All right, you can look on with me. How's
That works.
See, now I'm on revenue. Okay, here's revenue now.
Yeah. 25 pages of revenue and 3 pages of revenue.
Huh. Okay. Well,
So
let's start
anyways.
with the 1 of 3 for revenue and then move into expenditure after that. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. Hey, Ann,
Yes,
Nick did this page.
oh,
Could I
okay.
ask you to run into,
Oh, absolutely.
just Kirk's office for those copies?
Oh, I think they're all closed, but.
Oh, it's
But
lunchtime.
just this top page?
All 3 of
All
those
3 of those.
pages.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn there was 2 of them. Maybe I put them
Yeah.
all in one pile.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm not
Franklin
seeing
has
it.
2 sets of expenditure.
Well, I got a bunch of expenditures.
I can just.
You have
run-
3,
I'll
if you have
just run down
6.
and then-
Actually, it looks like he does have,
2,
I think you might have 'em.
3. So we're missing the top page, so 2 of 2. Okay, 1, hold on.
Oh, well, here's one here.
Okay, yep, so we're good.
Okay.
all right.
We're good.
Good deal. Thanks, Ann.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're golden.
All right.
Okay.
So the revenue is easy because we don't have any revenue
Right.
really to speak of. So if you just look down, what we need to do is just target any of those that pertain to the commission, which on page 1, this is the revenue 1 of 3, dated 5/6. All of those are set by the state. So
Okay.
we can move to page 2.
Now you're talking revenue.
Yes.
And those are almost all set for other departments, except for Board of Health. That is the Board of Health, which we 3 have 3 seats of 5, so we are a majority of that. We don't really, we just take a little bit out of the general fund, and really the only costs we have are $5,000 that we pay Doc Campbell to be the public health official, and then a little bit in advertising.
Okay.
So we just have the 5,000, we should probably put a little bit for advertising, we usually do it by posting, which is free, and a little bit once in a while for certified letters. So I would suggest that we maybe do 5,100, can be pretty minimal.
So so it jumped from 2,500 to 5,000. last, am I reading that correctly?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I would agree, so
okay, 51,
5,100.
all right. And then,
Franklin, you have any?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So budget change would be $100.
yeah. All right, and that's it for us on that one, pretty easy. And then we'll just turn that into Debbie. And then we'll do really the same thing on the next revenue.
3 to 3.
No, this is one of 25.
Okay.
The next, through
okay.
Franklin is expenditures. So we're gonna stick with revenue to keep it followable.
How come that?
So,
So we already covered the Board of Health, that's a repeat, so we really could go to page 4.
the board, what order is the board?
Page 2.
Is the Board of Health?
Yeah, the first 3 pages are the same 3 we just went through, so the Board of
Okay.
Health there will be 5,100.
Thank you.
And which page we on now?
Just,
Page 2 of 25.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
and now we're on page 4. Which again is taxes set by the state. These you'll notice right above, well, right below the date, it says what funds they're for.
Animal?
Predatory animal, yep, we just got that sheet last meeting
Meeting.
last week.
Yep. And that was set by the state?
Uh-huh, yep, it's, based on a
What's the
formula.
page again on this one?
It's 5 of 25.
Page 6 is our comprehensive insurance. We had a decrease last year because of what we did with the safety program, but we generally pay this out of, last year we switched it, we used to pay this out of PILT and switched to mills
Okay.
last year.
And then didn't we get an increase that we voted to cover for this fiscal year? Am I on the right subject?
We voted, we met with Julie Zapirian and Amelia and Shannon on this, a couple of different meetings. It's work comp.
Oh, this is work comp. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's all of it, work comp, our mod factor for safety, and then our buildings and vehicles are all in this.
Yes, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's set, so there's really not a lot we can do there.
Got it.
We just got a budget from the library, but they will turn that in to
Okay.
Debbie. Ambulance, also, both the library and the ambulance, get their own meals, and what we did,
How many mills do they get, you know?
I don't think I have it with me, but I'll look. What we
Page.
did a couple of
8.
years ago is we took a couple of years with, the finance department worked with different department heads to set how much money they needed, and we set the mills to match that amount.
Okay,
And then what we've done is we've held the mills there.
okay.
So, it wasn't just what they wanted, it was a whole process we went through, but basically now, ambulance gets, off the top of my head, say 0.5 mils. If the value of a mill goes up, ambulance gets a little bit more, and most of this goes to save for a new ambulance or
Right.
equipment in the ambulance. If the value of the mill goes down, then they better tighten their belts. So every department works like that, so these are all the different, departments.
Citizen mills.
The value of a mill, if you wanted to do the math, to get an approximate of the numbers, is 13,346 from last year. So you could, take their actual, and divide it by that, 13,456.
So our actual is what, 91.66?
Actual I'm showing is, 4537. No, you do it out of the 8977, and the reason for that is
Okay.
we haven't got all the taxes in yet, and so they get 0.67 of a mil. You're welcome. I'm glad you asked that question, because I hadn't even thought about that. Senior citizens meals. This is conjugate meals, Meals on Wheels. The more we can do to help seniors, the more it actually saves us money, because it's about $1,100 a month savings for the seniors to stay home as long as they can. And better for them,
They
most of
get-
the time.
Right now, they get a budget of almost 26,800.
Yes, about 2 meals. Senior citizen,
What page is it?
Page 9. Everything is right here in the top left corner.
Oh, okay, there, okay, now.
and now we're on page 10, which is senior citizen transportation. So what the TR stands for, that's Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
Delivery to homebound, elderly and people with disabilities. And that's our share. The bulk of the money is paid by Rocky through their money, state money, and federal money. Juvenile transportation is page 11, and again, we won't fill that one in, but that we have put up a CIP, and as that's needed, we will let that fund grow, use it as we need to, but it's not actually a mill anymore. It's PILT funded.
Economic development.
Economic development is 0.75 of a mill. And this is to help build the economy, which will offset, crime, money going into planning. It will help with Rocky Mountain Development, Head Start, that kind of thing. Community development is also 0.75 of a mill. And one thing that we learned about 2 years ago when Nancy Everson came in to help with the budget, that planning was starting to really fall behind. Planning does not get mills. It is an enterprise fund, and when the subdivisions dried up, there was just no money left for planning. It's a department you have to have by law, so we decided last year, working with Nicole, to change the job description to create not only planning but also community development. So that a lot of the work that she does with the Parks and Rec Committee, doing the growth policy for the planning board, updating the regulations, working with the fire district, that's all done under community development. Group health will be set by the state. Permissive mill levy will be set by the state. Rescued animals, we're gonna have an amendment on that on the 27th. And zero that account out.
We're
Alcohol.
done.
Yeah, alcohol rehab, federal mineral royalties, hard rock mine, metal mines, built CDBG, mental health. I have a question on mental health. So, federal mineral royalties, do you remember which of these we use for computers? All right. I think it is these 3. Hard Rock, this would be Franklin, pages 18, 19, and 20. These are one of these funds. These all come from mining in the county. Graymont is not a hard rock mine, so we actually don't get any hard rock trust money. But we do get mining. And we had a couple of metal mines, gold mines, that were doing the slag. So we got a little bit of money from that. These are the accounts that we pay for computers, capital from. But one of them, and I think it's the hard rock mining, we have to keep that for 15 years, and that money is to be used to rehab a mine after it's closed. And those are all set by the state based on mining revenues. We'll get a PILT check here in June. And that's based on a formula of how many acres of public land and population we have. There's 5 different pieces, and I expect that'll be about 580,000. CDBG, that was a joint project that's closed out, so that'll be a zeroed out account, joined with the city. Mental Health LAC, that's the Local Advisory Council. We used to be charged about $5,600 a year to pay into the Center for Mental Health, and that helped pay for the professional we have here in town for the mental health services, cooking classes, social events. They just had a pizza party. Anymore, that money is being taken out of the entitlement share, and that was worked on by the governor's budget office and MACO's Cheryl Wood. So we have an extra $5,600 that used to be going to that is now covered by the state on our behalf. So they take our money and they pay it so that we don't have to. But one thing that they are trying to do is reach out to the folks with the mental health issues in the county, and they have requested that money be put into their budget for the LAC, not the Center of Mental Health. So that money would be earmarked for mental health, locally only. One of the things they were looking at doing is bringing in Jason DeShaw to talk to the kids. He's a musician, very popular with mental health issues, and he's been reaching out to people. He's quite an inspiration, but he's expensive. So stop me if I'm going too fast or if you have questions. And the
So, on that $5,600,
Mhm.
we would set that up for like the school to use to bring people in like that in, or who's gonna have the ability to use that?
It would go into the Mental Health Local Advisory Council, and that is page 23. It would be under their control. Of course, any expenditures have to be approved by the commission because they're advisory, but they could work with the school.
Okay.
They could work with, they've got, who's on the council is representatives from the school, from the hospital, the social worker, excuse me, from the hospital. We have a retired nurse, county attorney's office, commission, city council. So it's really got a nice, well-rounded group of community people. And then clients. There's a law that there's a certain number of clients that have to be involved. They're the ones who determined they wanted a pizza party to bring everybody together. And then the rest is PILT, which we can either do during the budgets period or later. I think it's wise to wait if we can. Sometimes you just can't. And then the expenditures, we do have a little bit of work on that. Oh, the mental health, are you guys okay with that? Money going to the Mental Health Advisory Council?
I would say yes.
Okay. So I'll just round to 5,600. Okay. And send that to Debbie. Okay, so the expenditures then. The contingency fund, that is earmarked at this point for the Deep Creek project, for the most part. But we could just keep that the same, 55, if that's good with you guys. Office supplies and materials, we spent $350 this year. 100 was budgeted. One thing with that is we have a laptop that hopefully will be used by a CTI employee, and that's Career Training Institute, to come in and help us with our filing, but also with the website. So we will probably need at least one more computer for whoever comes in November. So I would like to suggest that we take that to 500.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can I make an observation? When I went through last year's budget, end of the year figures, I noticed that every department had increased, had overspent their office supplies budget by a considerable amount. So you probably should take that into consideration as well.
Thank
I don't
you.
know why, but office supplies seem to be.
I think just the price of everything jumped so drastically.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know what it is, but I think 125% was about the lowest I saw, and there it went up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's a jump for us of 400, so hopefully that'll be enough. You guys wanna go higher based on what Paul said, or leave it at 500 for now?
I would, I think 500 would suffice.
Okay,
Just looking at the past trends, and what, I don't know, I mean, the laptop I think will be our biggest expense. Foreseen
right?
biggest expense. Let's clarify that. I think 500 will be sufficient.
Okay. Operating supplies, we budgeted 50 and we spent 610. That is part of the DIS transition, and that's a lot of computer programs.
Which we wouldn't be doing that again, correct?
Correct.
So I mean,
But there'll still be expenses on the stuff.
right, so I mean, even if you bumped it up to another $100, you're not gonna be buying those expensive computer programs again.
True.
So even $100 total in that, you're,
You wanna go 100 more then?
yeah.
Or 100 even or
100
150?
even, yeah,
100
100
even?
even, yeah.
Okay. Repair maintenance supplies. We budgeted 100, we spent 107. And you can see our history there.
You're gonna get a increase on what they're gonna be doing, so I mean, even if you increased it, by $50.
Say 50.
Yeah, so 150.
Our average over the last 4 years has been 187. Wanna do 150?
Yes.
Okay. Postage. We
That's gonna go
budgeted
up.
2,000 and that was to pay for the newsletter. So I think we should keep that the same. We
Yep.
only had 2 go out this year.
Yep, I think that's smart.
Okay. And the same with printing, that was increased to pay for the newsletter. You guys are good with that?
Yep.
Excuse me. Publicity and subscriptions at 9,000. We came pretty close.
So I mean, I think you could probably leave the same.
Okay. Utility services. That will be increasing this year. It already did. We're going to be paying another $275, and that will be split between us and the sheriff's department and possibly other departments as well for a higher upload speed. So,
Yes, we just did that last week.
we did. I would like to suggest that we maybe take that up to the 8,000.
Yeah,
It's
cause
a little bit less
that's,
than this year.
yeah. Cause that was 200 a month, right? 200
Right.
Yeah.
275 a month.
Yeah. So yeah, 8,000 would probably suffice.
Okay. Professional services. This is to pay for Sean Higley. That will probably be the fund that we pay for Sean Higley to come in and help us with the Galsagori subdivision, or for Jeremy to come in and help us with the building project. Those are where we have professionals come in and help with a particular issue.
And there was 9 in there.
Yeah,
I think we could probably keep it at 9.
okay, I'm good with that. Medical and psychological, I would like to just say 0 at this point.
Yeah. Well, that would take that 5,600 though, correct?
No, that would be separate. This is just for the commissioners.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, I don't know, we might need some.
I don't think there's any hope for us.
You're gonna need a lot of psychological.
Repair and maintenance services. We have DIS anymore,
Yeah,
We could actually cut that down.
Cut it in half at least.
Yeah, I'd be good with that. Anytime we can call them, it's totally free. The only time they charge us is if they have to come in person, which is a lot less than we used to pay for IT.
Sure.
Travel,
Travel is gonna go up with, you know, whatever. This is for training and things of that nature, correct?
it is, yeah. The thing is it will go up because of the legislative session
Yes.
too. Most everything's in Helena, so I would suggest maybe, we spent 12 this year, 15 was budgeted for, 2015 also legislative year was 24, maybe 2,000?
Yes,
Okay.
excuse me, sorry.
Training services, we spent 100, we budgeted 300. Michelle, she has her own budget. Department of Labor will come in for free, Department of Admin is for free. I think we could actually decrease that to
200?
2,
Yeah.
yeah. Our safety is free for us with our membership. Contract services,
That will hopefully change once we get a nurse, correct?
yeah, there's a lot in here, that will be fixed with the amendment, but we've been
Yep.
paying the nurse out of our budget, and it should have been under public health.
Yep.
So I'd say 5,000 is probably good, if you
Yes.
guys are good with that.
Yep.
And then 0 for machinery and equipment?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Personnel services on page 2, that is Michelle.
Okay.
Um,
Now, are we trying to go away with having our HR and just use her periodically, or what's the end goal there?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Michelle, the way it's set up right now, and it's working pretty well. Any heavy-duty HR issues, we call Michelle.
Yep.
Even something that's bubbling, we call Michelle. Michelle Beebe downstairs is just admin, HR admin, that's it. So she has the templates for the letters, she will put together the interviews, she will, file stuff into people's personnel, folders.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all. So it's actually probably a pretty cheap way to go.
Sure.
If we have to hire HR, we're probably looking at about 80 a year,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah. So, I would suggest, since we've come in under budget, we just leave it the same, 7,300.
Okay. Oops.
Like a little cushion, but hopefully we won't have any issues.
Okay.
And she charges us, 100 by the hour and $60 for travel,
Okay.
$60 an hour for travel,
So leave it at the 7,300.
yeah. And public health, that will be up to Julie
Yeah.
to come back to us. Anyone who doesn't turn in a budget, what Debbie did last year, she just took the same numbers and slid them over. The mental health center, same thing, that's the 5612, that's going to LAC now,
Yep.
so that'll be a 0. Burial for indigent, Stevenson's Funeral Home, probably will be wanting to talk to us at some point. Veteran services,
And that's the 200, is it? Is that what?
250.
250.
if our budget will support it, I would like to increase that this year to 350 to 400.
Okay.
So I would like to suggest we take that to 5,000,
Yeah.
so that we can accommodate that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool.
So 500 increase.
And the intercap, that is the building loan, that's all reimbursements, so we don't budget for that, or, put in the expenses for that, because it's a wash. So, I'll just give those to Debbie when she gets back on
Yep.
Wednesday, if that's good with you guys.
Yes.
All right, you wanna take off for 11 minutes and
Yeah, let's
get something to eat before 1?
something, a little snack.
All right, So we will break for lunch.